Hey, what's up? Sunzi here, and today we have a very premium mechanical keyboard. This is probably the most expensive keyboard that I own currently. This keyboard is the Mode 80 from Mode Design, and unfortunately there's a new Mode 80. I think it's in group buy. It may already, I wasn't keeping up with it, so I'm not sure the group buy dates or if it already ended or anything, but there's actually a new Mode 80, and I think they've made some adjustments and improvements on that one. But this one, unfortunately, is not the new Mode 80. This is the older version. So I got an email from Mode Design randomly because I bought the Mode 65, and then I think I was subscribed to their emails, and then they were like, hey, we got some new colorways of the Mode 80 in stock. Do you want to buy them? And I was like, okay, I'm gonna try and get one. But like, I don't know why this keyboard is so popular. Like, everyone was like fighting over these boards. Like, I just, when the email told me what time those in stock Mode 80 new colors would be available. So I just hop onto the website at that time, and like everyone's kind of just like trying to get their hands on one. I fortunately did get my hands on one Mode 80 board, but like within 5 minutes, which isn't too bad, but I think within like 3 to 5 minutes, all of the in stock Mode 80s were gone. So yeah, that was pretty crazy. All right, so let's take a look at this board. This box is pretty nice, and the packaging is pretty cool. So one thing that they do, there's also some words in here. What does it say? Keyboards have become integral to work, play, and creative expression. The 80 elevates the look, sound, and feel of this essential tool. We hope your experience with it is as fun as it is fruitful. Your friends at Mode, meet the 80. Pretty cool. This is a very nice box, by the way. So here we have our keyboard case. This is probably the best keyboard case I have seen so far. And inside of this case, we have our Mode 80 keyboard case. And this is fully made out of aluminum. So the color wave I have here is called the Lotus. This is basically a black top, and the bottom is just this purplish color. Right. So I already put the feet on the back. These feet are pretty thin, but and unlike the 4 kind of piece feet, these are just 2 pieces across, which aesthetically some people like it. It just depends on what you're looking for. So yeah, this case feels pretty nice. Looks pretty cool. And the color wave is, I mean, this is probably the like only color wave I got my hands on. The other color waves were a little bit too colorful for me. I tried to get a full black one, didn't work. I didn't want the top purple, bottom black one, so I just went for a Lotus. Also a cool name, Lotus, you know, but it's a bottom purple, top black keyboard. So I have some switches and keycaps for this, so we'll see how it goes. So this is the case. This is the keyboard carrying case. Putting that aside, other things that we have are all right here. We have the what is this? We have the very clean Mode 80 PCB. Very clean. This PCB looks very clean. That's kind of all I have to say about this PCB. It is the soldered version though. There was a hot swap version, but by the time, like when I was trying to pick up the hot swap version, they all sold out, so I had to like quickly go back and put in all my information again to get the hot soldered version, which fortunately I did get my hands on. Pretty kind of scary, but this is their PCB. So let's put that aside for now. Other things we have. is. What else do we have in this box? We have the, I would assume this is the plate. So this is an aluminum plate, I would assume. Alu plate, as we call it. So interestingly, this does not seem like it is a gasket mount. Rather, I think they call it isolation mount, but I'm not too sure. So we can see there's foam underneath this plate. So we'll have to see how that plays out. Yeah, so there's no pieces sticking out of this plate to support a gasket mount, so they just put foam under this plate. Interesting. We also have these, okay, so this is the daughter board, and this is the screws. Okay, cool. Here's the plate, okay. It's also a Lotus colored plate. Nice, nice, nice. What else do we have? We have the, I would assume that this is just the foam, right? So this is, strangely enough, this is just a piece of paper, and it kind of just separates the, so this is the plate foam, okay, and this is the bottom foam. Okay, doesn't seem like there's a lot going on right now. Like, to me, I feel like, okay, the only thing that makes, right now, currently, the only thing that makes this keyboard a lot more expensive compared to the rest that, like, makes sense is that all of the materials in here feel high quality and very elegant. You know, like, you'll buy some lower priced keyboards and they'll have the same things. In terms of like how it sounds, it may not differ that much, but when they give you like foam and stuff, when they give you like the plate, when they give you the PCB, and you look at them and somehow each individual piece for that build, when it's a, when it's a lower priced keyboard, all of the individual pieces for that build seem lower in quality. And this one, for a $500 keyboard, a very, very pricey keyboard. So we don't know how it actually sounds yet. We'll have to finish the final build to see how that works out. But in terms of just individual pieces, like you pick up any piece for the build for this keyboard, and each one of them just feels higher in quality compared to lower priced keyboards. Now, even though that may not be, everyone's gonna judge me, be like, oh, that doesn't mean like this keyboard is a good keyboard, it's not worth $500, or it's like, oh, it doesn't make this keyboard sound better, stuff like that. Yeah, I know that, but at least when you're paying a premium, these are not lacking, okay? Because there's a lot of, let me tell you, there's a lot of keyboards that are around, let's say $100, or even some keyboards like the Idabo ID80, which was like $200. Okay, my camera went out for a second there, but as I was saying, there are some keyboards that are even would cost you $250, like the Idabo ID80. But when you actually get that board, the board itself, there's nothing wrong with the board itself. It's an okay build. It's just that each piece for that build, like the foam, the plate and everything, like when you get it in your hands, it just doesn't feel very quality, and then it just makes it seem like it's not worth that $250 price point, which it definitely isn't. But yeah, in case of this, you can argue that is this actually worth $500 or not? But at least for that price point, each of the piece that they provide with you definitely has like, is just well made, well thought out, and just has the quality and elegance in them. Okay, so we've seen all of these very nice pieces for our keyboard build. Now we just have to actually get down and build this keyboard. So yeah, we'll see how that
been thinking, I've been thinking, I've been thinking, I've been thinking, thinking about you. 아무리 고개를 흔들어도 난 네 생각만 하고 있을 뿐. 아무리 딴짓해봐도 난 너의 목소리만 들릴 뿐. 있으면 내 here with me. 가든 심장이면 please tell me. 빨리 고백해볼까? 눈 감고 말해볼까? 미치겠어 only you, 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 you. 이런 건 처음이야. 너무 숨이 좀 나. I've been thinking about it. I've been thinking about you, boy. Yeah, yeah. All I think about is you, boy. All I think about is yeah, yeah. All I think about is you, boy. All I think about is 나만 아는 사람 손들어 하여 우리 눈엔 완벽한 lover. 나만 아는 사람 손들어 하여 우리 눈엔 완벽한 lover. 다가가도 괜찮겠지? 다른 애들보다 내가 훨씬 단단하게 걸어가면 다들 속닥 속닥 My confidence is shooting through the roof. 아무리 고개를 흔들어도 난 네 생각만 하고 있을 뿐. 아무리 딴짓해봐도 난 너의 목소리만 들릴 뿐. 있으면 내 here with me. 가든 심장이면 please tell me. 빨리 고백해볼까? 눈 감고 말해볼까? 미치겠어 only you, 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 you. 이런 건 처음이야. 너무 숨이 좀 나. I've been thinking about it. I've been thinking about you, boy. Yeah, yeah. All I think about is you, boy. All I think about yeah, yeah, yeah. All I think about is you, boy. All I think about yeah, yeah. 나만 아는 사람 손들어 하여 우리 눈엔 완벽한 lover.
Alright, so this is the complete keyboard build for the Mode 80. So let's actually talk about this keyboard for a little bit. First of all, the one thing you'll notice immediately is that this thing is very heavy. This is probably the heaviest keyboard that I've built. it doesn't have any like brass weight on the bottom to make it even heavier, because I've been to keyboard conventions before and all the keyboards I've picked up with like a really big brass weight on the bottom are all extremely heavy. Some of the 60% is probably weigh the same amount as this board, but it's a little bit more understanding on this board, even though without a brass weight. This 10 KL, well, this TKL 10 keyless keyboard, with all of this like high quality aluminum on it, and so much like foam and stuff inside of it, it's easy to understand why this board weighs so much and is so heavy. So this is not a board you want to carry around with, and if it is on your desk, it's not really gonna move a lot, unlike other boards. Like if you have a gaming keyboard, like if you want a game, you might want a board that can like slide a bit, has a bit more maneuverability. This keyboard is so heavy that if it's on your desk, it's like there. You just type on it and it's just there. It's not gonna move, basically. So another thing about the board is, let's talk about the mounting style. So as you can see, you have a top piece here. This is what the front looks like. And this is what the bottom piece looks like. So you can see 3 screws here. This is what the feet look like. So this board, first of all, I want to make something clear, is that this is definitely endgame keyboard category. So this is definitely an endgame keyboard. And a lot of people might be a little bit confused about the mode keyboards, because there's a lot of like different opinions on websites and YouTube. What I can tell you is that this is definitely an endgame keyboard, but it's not exactly following the same trend as a lot of other keyboards. So first of all, this is definitely not a gasket mount. I think what they call this is a stacked mount. It's actually not bad. Like typing on this board actually feels pretty pleasant. And even though it's stiff, it's not stiff in a way that like makes it uncomfortable. It's actually a comfortable type of stiff, but I would encourage you to use tactile, switches on this board. If you're like a linear switch only guy, you're like the linear gang and linear switches are the only switches you'll ever use, this board is probably not for you. Because I'm not gonna like try out linear switches on this, because unfortunately I did not get the hot swap version. This is the solder version. So I have these SP Star kind of like tactile switches on there, and I am not gonna desolder them and put linear switches on. So with tactile switches, this kind of stiffness is actually like not bad. This stiffness is not bad at all, and it actually provides a very poppy and pleasant typing experience. So when you type on this board, it just feels very poppy, in my opinion. If that's what it's like definitely endgame category, but it like emphasizes on the popness. And if that's something that like you're more into, like you're into like tactiles and you like that poppy kind of like typing experience with a decent, like really good sound as well, really thocky kind of sound, then this would actually just be an endgame keyboard for you. For all my linear gang friends and members out there, this is probably not your endgame keyboard, because with linear keys, I can see this being a little bit too stiff for you, and it actually might not be too pleasant of a typing experience. There's not much space in this keyboard, so compared to an actual gasket mount, like a good gasket mount keyboard, there's a lot more flex, and it's just a lot more like bouncy and like creamy typing experience. It's a lot softer, more flexible, more bouncy. So those keyboards with linear switches actually are very pleasant, and if you're a linear lover, then you would probably want to consider a high-end gasket mount keyboard compared to a stack mounted Mode 80 keyboard. So yeah, that's basically pretty much all I have to say about this keyboard. All the controversy around the stack mounts. To conclude everything that I just said, the stack mount is not bad, but I would recommend tactile switches over linear switches. And if you're a tactile lover, then you don't have to like care about all the controversy about the stack mount. I would say that if you purchase this keyboard for $500, this would definitely be an endgame keyboard for you because the quality is definitely there. However, if you're a linear switch lover and you're considering an endgame keyboard, this could still be good, but it might not be exactly for you. You might want to seek out gasket mounted keyboards, high-end keyboards instead. All right, so that's it from me. Yeah, this is probably the best keyboard I currently own at this point. And, you know, still haven't really I'm still kind of searching for my endgame keyboard, but this is sort of close. I kind of just want some kind of keyboard just like be on my desk and just be there, just sit there, and like it's just there, it's not really moving, and it's heavy and premium and metallic. So close, but not exactly there yet. So I'm still gonna continue to search for my endgame keyboard. All right, that's gonna be it for me. Hope you guys like the video. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Later.